It was Ben.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's all right. I'm about to
Oh, if Ben's
I'm
watching,
about to
that means
share
we
it
can
in.
say all our offensive stuff.
Oh yeah, I always say my best stuff for Ben.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Is it up yet?
It says live.
Yeah, it says live. I'm just trying to get the link so I can send it. Let's see. As well, I'm not even subscribed to this. It's weird. All right, Ben, I know you're the only one watching. Just give me a second. I'm about to share it on the sports group page. Share. Copy. 1 second. It's really whack, man. I got banned for saying I was gonna throat chop somebody. Pat gained some weight. It's the camera, bro. He look. You should have seen what he was doing to try to make himself look bigger.
Shut up. I did actually gain some weight though. I'm fat.
Nah, my man was working the angles.
And filters.
Yeah,
And filters.
crazy exercise. Yo, you tripping? You tripping? Let's see. IB Sports. Ben, you a bum, bro. All right, paste. All right. You know, oh my god, it won't even let me. It won't even let me put that shit in the group, bro. All right, hold
All right.
on. I'm gonna send this to you. You post it in the group. All right. I just sent the link to you.
All
You
right, bet.
post it in the group. And tag Ronnie when you do it.
All right, bet.
Absolutely hilarious that I can't. And then I don't think people can maybe they have to comment through Facebook or through YouTube. I swear this happens to me every year. I get banned around the time that I really should. It's the worst time to get banned. It's only 2 days though. It's only 2 days.
All
Um,
right. Tell him to approve it quickly.
um, I probably can still approve it.
All right.
I think.
Why is the show all late and everything? Well, black owned business. That's why.
Nah, no, it's not black on business. You was the first reason why we was late, and then I delayed us like a couple more minutes. This is stupid. Facebook need to stop messing with me, bro.
Welcome to the metaverse.
Mm, let me see. Did he approve it? Did anybody approve it? Somebody better approved it. Um, pending posts approved. Can I still do that? If I can.
Oh yeah,
Oh
it's
snap!
going.
I can still do that. That's funny. All right. Well, we are kind of live. I know Pat do stay late. Come on, Patrick. I guess we just talking to Ben, and we'll just have to share it later. All right. If
Right.
anybody's tuning in or anybody makes it this far into the video, I just got banned from Facebook today, so that's why it was so difficult to get this started. But we are back.
And I'm just late
Um, yeah,
because
yeah. Patrick was late.
it be like that sometimes.
Patrick's actually the Scott Frost of podcasting right now, and so he's on a 2 week contract. So he's not off to a good start. This is his dropping the ball against Northwestern. If you look up in the right hand corner of the broadcast here, you will notice the IBN logo has been replaced. And that is because, as always, we have to honor our kitty table nominee. And the kitty table nominee this week is obvious who it is. It's got to be Scott Frost, Nebraska. My boy Jay, my boy Jeff, my boy Marcus. Just keep dropping the names. Anybody that supported Scott Frost since he left UCF, actually. I won't say since birth, because at UCF he was okay. But since he came to Nebraska, if you supported Scott Frost, you
F's
too
in the chat.
you too can have a seat right next to these guys, because that dude is a bum. Okay. He's a bum. He's a bum because he didn't take any ownership for the loss. He's a bum because he did an onside kick up 11, and then they scored 14 straight points. And he said he couldn't foresee them scoring 14 straight points. Were you not at the game? Did you not see the same defense I saw all game? You didn't foresee them moving the ball at some point. You couldn't comprehend that giving a short field was somehow also giving momentum. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. But two, maybe 3 weeks ago, he was
Like,
bragging about he
a
was
blind
making his
man
players
saw
go
that
up.
from.
He's a bum, man. He's a bum.
The ball moved on them for a whole quarter mile. Like, they literally
Yeah.
gave up a quarter mile's worth of yards. Yeah, no, you're going to give up 14 more points, buddy. Oh, y'all gave up a whole drag strip worth of yards to them dudes, to Northwestern. Nope. Well, he's getting fired after the Oklahoma game, so.
The holdup out, according to Jay, and it seems likely, but the holdup is the buyout. Once the buyout changes, then his situation as coach should change. So we shall see. We shall
Well, isn't
see.
his buyout? Is it said his buyout drops around Halloween or the 1st of October? I could not remember.
I'm not sure. Yeah, Patrick, you keep coming in and out, bro. You ain't got good internet over there too. You live in the West End, bro. There ain't no reason for that. You probably got FiOS.
No, I got Comcast. I just ain't paid my bill yet.
Oh my
I'm
god.
joking.
All right, we're gonna try to get through this, people. We're gonna try to get through this. Bear with us. It's the first week. Thursday's game. Jumping ahead. Thursday's game. I think the feature game would be West Virginia versus Pittsburgh. Spreads at 7.5. Pittsburgh is favored at home. Over unders at 51.5. A couple storylines here. Just with the two QBs, JT Daniels for West Virginia by way of USC and Georgia, and Slovis, whatever you want to call him.
Keaton
from
Slovis.
Yeah.
The battle of USC's exes.
You know what my main issue is that I keep giving these guys nicknames, or I like say like things like he's not good enough for me to know his name, and I like mess it up, and then I can't pronounce it. It's actually time for me to be serious.
I mean, JT Daniels got benched for Stetson Bennett, so you weren't wrong about the first one.
I mean, I still call Odell Beckham Odella by default because that's what I called him for the longest time, and I'm like, dang, I can't do that. But yeah, either way, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not big on taking overs on the first games, just because you don't really know. Like, you kind of know, but you don't really know, especially when you have like these two teams. You got two quarterbacks coming in, essentially into new systems. There was some turnover on the offensive side for Pittsburgh.
Even the offensive coordinator, Mark Whipple.
Yep, there's some turnover in West Virginia on both sides of the ball as well. So I think Marcus used to do this as well. Like, we just developed this philosophy. If I'm going to take a team, like a home team, they got to have a solid quarterback, which Pittsburgh does, and they really got to win in certain aspects of the game. So if we put West Virginia's O-line versus Pittsburgh's D-line, Pittsburgh. If you flip it around, West Virginia's D-line versus Pittsburgh's O-line is still Pittsburgh. Look at the skill positions. Secondary, depending on how you look at it, it could be a wash, but I still favor Pittsburgh a little bit more. I think Pittsburgh got the advantage at running back. I think Pittsburgh has the advantage at coaching, continuity with their returning starters, and even the transfer portal. I think Pittsburgh has the advantage there as well. So not too hype about the 7.5, but I can see a situation where JT Daniels is getting a lot of pressure, and that could be more or less the issue here. So I'm going to go with the over here. I think it'll be two teams that will air the ball out, which a lot of times people forget. College football, first down stops the clock. That matters when you bet over unders. 51.5 is kind of light for a team like Pittsburgh that's probably going to put up at least 30, 40 points against a West Virginia team that might find themselves on short fields sometimes on the defensive end.
The one thing I have about with Pittsburgh putting up a lot of points is, all right, the man who kind of created that, I shouldn't say kind of, he did create that high-powered Pitt offense. He is gone. And if Narduzzi has his way, Narduzzi likes to play pretty much 08, 09 Saban ball if he could.
Mm-hmm.
So I would take especially being week 1, I'm not too sure on how Pittsburgh's offense is going to face, they have a lot of new pieces, especially in that quarterback. I do like the other skill positions and the trenches for them, but I would take the under.
I mean, it's not really a question of what the quarterbacks can do in the sense of like, can they play? Like, we know they can play.
Right.
And I think when you get a QB friendly system and a coach who's like, we're going to attack, we're going to air the ball out, and you bring somebody that has above average skill level, like USC's transfer has. And he's also, a lot of people are talking about him maybe putting himself in a position to raise his draft stock this year. So the expectations are high. People have Pittsburgh winning the ACC. Some people, Desmond Howard has Pittsburgh in the playoffs. So the expectations are
He's
kind of
extreme. That Michigan pack.
Yeah, they're kind of extreme on some ends. But my thing with taking the over here, the reason why I'm leaning towards that is that I really feel like the ball is going to get moved through the air one way or another, and so it might start slow. And like you said, there's always that high risk when you're talking about that first week of football where teams kind of have to gel. But I think Pittsburgh should be given the benefit of the doubt that at this point, this particular class and this particular system, they should hit the ground running. So if it doesn't go over, it's going to be, in my mind, it'll be West Virginia's fault, not Pittsburgh's fault.
Okay. I can also West Virginia would they would stumble very early to get off the block. Because in terms of quarterbacks, I'm not too high on West Virginia's. I'm really not. And I'm just not high on the coaching staff there either. So, yeah. And being in Pitt, it's the sold out crowd. It's going to be raucous.
Yeah, it's a rob. I didn't
backyard brawl, baby.
Yeah, I was
backyard brawl
before, but it's a rivalry. So it's not like it's a game where people ain't gonna be hyped for it. It should definitely have a good atmosphere. Likewise, over in Purdue should be a good atmosphere as well. Penn State's traveling to Purdue. Purdue is the home dog at plus 3.5. The over/under is 53. Just to reiterate, all of our lines come from mybookie.ag. If you sign up on mybookie.ag, use promo code IBSports, you'll get a nice little rollover and deposit match, I do believe is what they do. So over/under at 53 seems a little bit too high. I'm not sure.
A lot of too high for a Penn State game.
Now, this is a game where I don't think a lot of points will get scored, but more so just because you need some tempo. And I from what I recall, when I watch Purdue games, they'll play fast if the other team plays fast. But for the most part, they let teams dictate the tempo. Purdue doesn't necessarily dictate the tempo.
And Penn State does not like to let anybody play fast. Penn State will let that turtle walk that game. They will tortoise walk that game. I do want to see what this defense is going to look like under Manny Diaz. They got, excuse me, everybody's healthy for the first time in about a year and a half. And, new DC, they still have a lot of top end talent, and they will be pretty much headed off by Joey Porter Jr., Pittsburgh's finest. And this is a game, I know it's at Purdue, but this is a game if Penn State want to bounce back from last year, this is a take care of business game. They have to get this done on the road. And Sean Clifford, he's no CJ Stroud by any means, but he's serviceable, and we've seen when he's healthy with Penn State, they can put up some points. They can put up. The offense doesn't look bad. It has some fluidity to it, and they should be able to move the ball quite well on offense.
Clifford's trash. I'll say that. Clifford's trash. They don't have the number one wide receiver. If Manny Diaz can't take this defense and make them look remotely like they looked last year, he needs to stop coaching. Like, I feel like this is a defensive unit that you don't have to do a lot. Like, it's still
you
talented.
Really don't. You just like roll them out there.
They did last year, and you're not. I don't think you're losing enough for it to be a question mark. To me, the question marks are more so on, can Clifford stay healthy? Can Penn State move the ball effectively? And God forbid if Penn State or Clifford can't stay healthy, then we kind of already have seen what they look like without him in the game. It's just really bad. So,
well, they have a different backup this time. It's they have a 5-star freshman, and
oh, sure, okay, here we go.
All right, the way James Franklin's been talking about him, it's a solidified, like, yeah, keep him in the back of your mind type thing. It's like, don't forget about him. And I have the feeling if Clifford looks a little iffy, they might throw him out there. If it gets out of hand, he's going in. But he's going to be a player that gets a bunch of game time this year.
Womp, 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 womp. I'm taking my points with Purdue. I'm taking Purdue money line at plus 146 is what I saw last time. I mean, just going back to last year, if anybody watched the show last year, I didn't give my boy Jeff enough credit. Conference games,
great coach.
Conference games, road dogs, middle of the week. You gotta take your shot. 3.5 is 3.5 for a reason. Purdue's not the easiest place to play on a night game, especially in the middle of the week. They're not your general powerhouse football team, but they do get up for games like Penn State visiting Ohio State.
Visiting.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have a history.
Forget that one.
Yeah, they have a little history. So it's a show me game for Penn State for me as a gambler and me as a fan. So I'm gonna try the money line and I'm gonna take my points here. And let's not understate that Purdue has a veteran quarterback who is, to me, better than Clifford. And they've got some weapons on their offensive side that are familiar with the system, and they should find a way to move the ball. They will be missing their best pass rusher and best defensive player, but again, they're not going against that great of an offense in Penn State, so it shouldn't hurt them that much. So I threw this game in as a shocker. Virginia Tech at ODU plus 7.5. This is actually Friday night's game. Over unders at 48. I was actually surprised to see ODU getting like a lot of like love for maybe the upset in the cover, but then I looked a little deeper. They're returning 17 starters. 17 starters. I mean, it's true though. Like Ben, it's true. Like they have a little history there, but it's like Penn State and whiteout games. Like they got a history. Like you kind of have to respect that. But anyway, Virginia Tech going to ODU plus 7.5 over under 48. I'll keep it short. I got this as my upset alert of the week. I think ODU money line is like plus 240 something, plus 260. I mean, if you want to throw a shot at an outright win, especially on the Friday night, and it's my birthday, what better present than watching Virginia Tech lose? Let me get ODU definitely to cover.
Word to
And
Chase.
yeah, and to win. What you think?
I'll take it because the last we saw Virginia Tech, it was hard to watch. It was ugly. Like I think the only good thing, especially coming from last year, was that they beat a air quotes number 10 North Carolina team to start the season. But every good thing about this team kind of left in the transfer portal. So yeah, even the person that they threw out there stupidly in front of Hendon Hooker, Bachmeier, is gone. And I have no clue on the quarterback situation. The rest of the team is still just defensive front may be decent, but this is a chance for ODU to get another one off of the Tech and embarrass them and print more T-shirts out of saying that they beat Tech.
Yeah, I was gonna say they'll definitely be up for the game. So, yeah, I mean, I know it's funny, but this is my upset alert this week. I just think, again, taking into consideration, you got program in Tech, new head coach, a lot of ups and downs with like who's staying, who's coming, who's the starting quarterback, what the offense is going to look like with the defense. It's a lot of work that needs to be done. And you got a team like ODU who was competitive last year, definitely will be motivated, and they're returning 17 kids out of 22 starters. Like that's significant, man.
And if I remember correctly, ODU finished on a high note. Like they finished the season on a 4 or 5 game win streak.
Yeah,
they started rough, but they finished up and got themselves into a bowl game.
Yeah, so I think it's a prime spot for an upset. So and honestly, it wouldn't be that big of an upset if all things considered. Like I said, it's first year coach, a lot of like questions about Tech as a program. I mean, these first year coaches, if we're being honest, some of them need at least 2 to 3 years to fix these programs. I mean, so but hey, it's a gift at 7.5, I think. So I'm taking a shot there. That was the only game on Friday that I thought was worth talking about.
No one cares about Central Michigan, Michigan State.
Yeah, the only other one was like it was like what was it, Temple and somebody else. I was like, why am I looking at this game? All right, so we get to Saturday. So the way we broke it down, we did what we thought was the best noon game, what we thought was the best 3 p.m. to like 7 game, and then what we thought was the best game from 7 to midnight. Now some of you people don't stay up for that midnight matinee out in Hawaii.
You're not sickos like us.
Yeah, but sometimes those games be good. Either way,
Arizona State versus San Diego State is fun.
Sometimes it is. There wasn't a lot of options for 12 o'clock. I took UNC at Appalachian State, and I think you did too for your marquee game. App State plus 1.5. The over-under is at 56. Look,
did you see UNC last week?
They played a team that didn't even have enough players to suit up,
man. I know, but the thing was, it took them a little longer to put them away than it should have. Like UNC, you look a little. Do you need some medicine, UNC? You need some milk. You look a little bad. You look
if I was in college and you told me Friday night that the team, or Thursday night that the team we're about to play doesn't have but like 10 eligible players, I probably would have been out partying and doing random things and not really been up for the game on Saturday. So I'm not putting any stock into it. This is a real game.
You know who will be up for this one though? App State.
Well, yeah, but it's not the App State beating Michigan kind of upset, but I mean it's a big win for a smaller program if App State can pull it off.
Yeah, Yeah, and right now, App State might be the second best program in the state of North Carolina. That's not a far stretch.
I mean, we'll
Um,
see. We'll see. I mean,
they,
Mac is known for tricking. I'll put it that
yeah,
way.
yeah. Ask Virginia Tech.
But
But
a point and a half is more or less a flip of the coin. Like,
yeah, it's even line, but in Boone, it's going to be ruckus. I like what Appalachian State. They still have a bunch of returning production. Then the, I don't know. Even though it's Mac Brown, I just still think right now App State's better coach and the players they play better in their system. It's just something about them. I, I got to go with them, the Mountaineers.
I'm gonna take App State just because of history a little. No matter who coaches North Carolina, when they play these teams that have the ability to grind on the ground, they don't do too well against them. So I'll just I'll just take App State based on the history. The over under at 56 is a tricky one because in a regular situation, let's say this was like a week 7 game, I would have data on explosive plays. So even though a team runs the ball a lot, like Buffalo, they do this. They run the ball a lot, but they're one of the most explosive run teams in the nation, like the 49ers in the NFL. Like we run the ball a lot, but we get a lot of chunk plays. I don't know if App State is going to get a lot of chunk plays or if they're going to have to grind. If they have to grind, you're going to get the under. But if they get a lot of chunk plays, then you could still get the over because App State doesn't necessarily run a slow tempoed offense. They just run the ball. Buffalo, again, another example in college where they would run, Western Michigan as well. They run the ball a lot, but they don't run with a slow pace.
And
So
App State, oh, sorry,
go ahead.
but no, App State will also have whole drives where they're just doing, like you said, they go with pace, straight up no huddle for a whole
Mm-hmm.
drive, and they're just running RPOs.
Yeah, and they've got a quarterback in Brees. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. They got a quarterback in him that can execute the RPOs. He's not a top 10 quarterback, but he can beat a team like UNC. And you might remember him from his Clemson days. I think he did play like 1 or 2 games.
He said, he got in on the fourth quarter versus Citadel.
I've seen enough of them. Um,
No, he's actually a decent quarterback, and
my 3 p.m. game was Cincy versus Arkansas. Was that yours, or did you do Ohio State? Or not
no,
Ohio
Ohio
State?
State's at night.
Yeah. Did you do the Georgia Oregon?
I had Georgia, Oregon.
Of course you
You know,
did. You SEC bias bum. It's not even going to be competitive. I didn't even put it up there. So hold on, y'all. Let me hide this. All right, Georgia versus Oregon. I do have the line because I put it in
no,
my
it's like
notable
17.
games. Yeah, so Georgia versus Oregon versus Georgia. Sorry, so Georgia's the home team. 17-point spread. Over under is 53.5. Like, why are we talking about this?
Because, all right, here's why. It's going to be wild because you know who's the quarterback at Auburn. They got Bo Nix. That means some wild stuff is about to happen. And sometimes you just want to be a little hammered and watch some wild stuff happen. That's the only reason I wanted to throw this one in there. Other than that Georgia going to beat the brakes off them boys like they stole some. Moving on.
I don't know what wild stuff you're referring to, sir.
you you know Bo
I
Nix
don't
is.
expect this. I don't expect this game to be competitive, bro. Bo Nix sucks. Bo Nix
I know he
sucks,
does, but
and
he's.
the SEC knows he sucks. And if he ain't playing, like I don't know, if he ain't playing somebody that don't know he sucks, he might sneak up on him, or he might have a decent game. But I got a lot of faith in Kirby Smart as a recruiter. Like programs like Oregon, in their current status, they're not gonna beat Georgia. I don't think, man.
No.
It's just not worth entertaining. That 17, I mean, with Bo Nix, should be a cover. I think it's going. I'm not messing with
I
the
just
over
want to
under at
see.
53.5.
Oh, you know that's going to be an under. Georgia's playing.
Yeah, I don't really mess with too many Georgia overs.
Yeah, you know that game going to end up like 20-3. That's your 17 right there.
My 3 p.m. game. which will obviously be the better game. Is Cincinnati visiting Arkansas? Arkansas favored by 6. Over unders at 52. I know our buddy Ben knows all about Arkansas. Turn it off, man. I know this is the part where you get a little sick in your stomach again. Yeah, the only person who gave Oregon a shot is Chase. Chase lets his hatred of Holla blind him sometimes, and I get it. He can drive you crazy like that if you listen to him. But
Yeah,
Arkansas, I'll be real. Arkansas has some questions, primarily on the defensive side of the ball, and then also how they're going to replace Mims. So it's not a walk in the park. But Cincinnati is definitely like they're missing, especially defensively. They are missing some real freaking talent. I mean, even at quarterback, they're missing some talent. It's just that team has so much chemistry over the last couple seasons. I just think it's going to be hard to replace that and the talent at the same time. And having been to Arkansas, and if this was like a week 3 game, you might put Arkansas on upset alert, depending on how Cincy looked. They'll be like, oh, they might sneak up on them, but they ain't gonna sneak up on them on the first game of the year, man. Ain't no way.
No, especially Arkansas, they don't have questions at quarterback. I think we talked with Marcus about this a couple weeks ago. It's like when you have at least you're an established quarterback in your system, you can figure this out. We seen what KJ Jefferson can do. Yeah, he doesn't have Burks anymore. They still have some talent on the outside. They still can run the ball. And like you said, in Arkansas, yeah, give me the Hawks.
So part of my my comments about the defense, Ben, comes from the coach of Arkansas. Like I think schematically they're trying to work on some things, and he's filling out the talent, trying to figure out what he can and can't do. And then some of his build up this week or conversation this week, he has hinted to them being open-minded about how they approach the Cincinnati game from a defensive aspect. Like they might come out and sit back in the zone and play it simple, or they might be aggressive. Doesn't really know. No, this came directly from the head coach. It wasn't from the defensive coordinator. So,
I mean, he does like them to like rush 3 and drop a lot.
Yeah, I know. Like last year when everybody kind of does that defense now. So,
yeah.
And it could be coach speak, but I got it. It's literally week 1. I can't say what it. I can't definitively argue against what he says just because I haven't seen it yet. But it is a lot of talent that's like moving around and coming and going. So a lot of times when these, like, to me in this day and age, like these coaches probably will come out and kind of fill it out a little bit, especially if it's a team they haven't seen before. Like they don't traditionally play Cincinnati. Like if they were playing like Missouri or something like that, he'd probably be more like affirmative about what he was going to do. So I think it's just a matter. Yeah.
If this was Missouri, we wouldn't be caring.
Yeah, I know. I think it's just like you said, it probably is a little bit of coach speak, but like I said, for me, I just kind of want to take it easy before I jump out. But like, he don't know what he's talking about. Either way, give me Arkansas to cover, because I just like the Razorbacks. I'm higher on the Razorbacks this year. If anybody listened to, you didn't put those out, but anyway, when we did our SEC show, I did kind of have them on potential upset alert when they played Bama. So I kind of have to stick with that concept that Arkansas is going to be a dark horse in the SEC. And don't judge me, okay? I got to take a risk somewhere.
Hey, I'm not.
Man, you can't say nothing.
I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was just gonna be.
That's why you getting fired. All right, this was my notable game for the 7 p.m., which I'm pretty sure is yours. But I should have been a jerk and been like, "Oh, it's Ohio State and Notre Dame."
You know that game is not going to be entertaining. That's going to be worse than the Oregon.
You just picked Georgia versus Oregon. So
but the Notre Dame one's going to be worse.
Not for the first half. I bet you.
No, it's not.
I bet you Notre Dame stay with them for a half.
Nah, they got a quarter. They got a quarter until Smith and Jigba? Smith and Jigba and Harrison Jr. like take somebody's ankles and soul away in the in the middle of the field on the seam and just break a couple. And next thing you know, it's like 28-7.
It's
With
17
like,
points. It's 17 for the half, right? That's the spread for the half. Yo, let me stop. Let's wait till we get to that game. All right, Utah.
Black coaches don't matter, huh?
I got comments on that. I'll say for offline as well. Utah at Florida. Florida is a 3-point dog. Over under is 51. I mean, everybody likes Utah. The line keeps going up too. I mean, obviously, you're going to pick Florida. It could be Florida versus Bama. You'd be like, we could probably beat them if this, and this happens. So I'm not going to listen to what you say. I'm going to just go with the simple fact that, again, we have a program in Utah that has a lot more chemistry. They got a coach. They got a staff. They got returning players. They got returning players at key positions. Yes, they're traveling to Florida. Yes, that is kind of a tough task for a lot of West Coast teams, but they've had plenty of time to get to Florida, get acclimated with the heat, get acclimated with the time zone. They should be ready for this game. I have questions about Napier as a coach, and I think the moment might be too big for him at Florida. I think he gonna be y'all Scott Frost, but you got it, bro. Go ahead and tell us that I'm wrong.
All right, I will say this. It will be a very close game. It's going to look like that 2019 Florida-Auburn game where it's just for 2 quarters, they're just like, tussling in the middle of the field, like going between the 30s and, maybe a field goal here and there. The thing is, Florida's got a lot more returning talent than people realize. Anthony Richardson, not new to the team. Still have players in Jervon Dexter and Brenton Cox, as well as Trey Dean, who are, returning on the defense. A pass defense that wasn't bad. Run defense, well, run defense was terrible. And I think that's going to be if that's going to be the Achilles heel and what kills Florida in this game, it's going to be the run defense. But at home opening week, Florida tends to do well when the crowd is really ruckus. I'm going to take Gators in the 3 points. It's not going to be no one's getting dragged, but I take the over. I take the 3 points, and I'm taking the Gators.
I'm cool with the over. I don't know about the Gators. Who's your quarterback?
Anthony Richardson.
Who's Anthony Richardson?
The one that's like 6'5", 245, and runs a 4.4.
Like, who is he though? No. I know about his measurements. No, Odell. Who is he? He ain't Kyle Trask. He ain't somebody we should be afraid of.
He's Cam Newton that didn't steal laptops.
You Felipe Franks again.
No, Felipe Franks won't that athletic. Have you seen Felipe Franks run?
Felipe is a tight end in the NFL. What do you mean he's not that athletic?
He ain't as athletic as Anthony.
Oh, okay, cool. So you got another running back at QB?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, you made the Cam Newton comparison. I figured it's just another running back.
Hey, don't slander Cam Newton. Hey, that man didn't steal them laptops for this.
Yeah. I'm with you, Ben. It ain't even about spring. I don't really think Napier's ready, man. I don't. I feel like this is Utah's season is literally on the line against Florida in their minds. This is their statement game, and they get to open with that. And they are to me the better team on paper. Like they can't let this slip away.
I told you this earlier. I said Florida had the talent, but Utah has the coaching. So we're just gonna, and I like the staff Billy Napier has, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But like I said, it's going to be a close game. We're just going to see, can the talent of Florida get them over the line? And for a 3-point victory, I think they can.
Yeah, that would be key. Will the defense step up? And we will see that early. I just think it's just one of those questions about experience by coach and players versus, like you said, the more athletic or bigger programs. So we will see. I do hate to take them as 3-point favorites. I think that's just like a little testy there. But also I think it's a statement by odds makers that the Florida Mystique, their program in general, isn't what it used to be. Because in no point in my lifetime would this have been a line.
Well, I find it I find it a damning indictment that Utah is number 8 and they're only a 3-point favorite
I mean,
versus an unranked Florida.
I guess.
I find that very, you know what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah.
like I feel like if the odds makers had a lot of confidence in Utah, this would look like a Notre Dame Ohio State line.
But that might be more of a style thing too. I think not necessarily a any disrespect to them. Like stylistically, like maybe Florida just matches up well against Utah, and that's why the line is where it is. I don't think it matters about ranking sometimes, because we've seen unranked teams go up against top 10 teams, and the lines be a little weird from time to time based off of history and things like that. So it's also first game of the year, and again they're coming all the way across the coast, and there's that to factor in as well. So 3.
Also,
If this was like week 5, it'd probably be like 5.5 or 6, probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and I have this key line about week 1 college football always.
Yeah.
It's like raw cookie dough. It's not the best thing you should be eating, but you're gonna eat it anyway because it's delicious. Like it's not fully baked and ready to actually be eaten. You know, you got to wait till week 3 or 4 for like these teams to hit their groove.
You do realize that I'm going to share this later, and people are going to listen to this. You really are married and fat now, bro. You just made a man. Hey, look, if anybody else is listening to this, I know Ben's on here. Ben, I mean, at this point, I might even take you as a co-host, man. Yeah, nobody's eating cookie dough, man. That's the fattest thing I've heard a skinny person say ever, bro. Ever.
I'm a skinny fat person, bro.
Yeah, you tripping right now. Anyway, moving on. Notable games. We'll end on notable games.
Oh god.
The first notable game going back to Saturday, NC State versus ECU. ECU is at home plus 11 over under at 51.5. I just made this a notable game because it's
rivalry.
Jamal's it's in Jamal's parlay. I mean, I don't think I've ever taken an under in an ECU game. So 51.5, give me the over.
That one's gonna be a lot more fun because it's one NC State with expectations. We'll see how that goes. And 2, anytime NC State has expectations, one of the main ruiners of their life is ECU. ECU lives for games like this. When NC State has actual hopes and dreams, they're just waiting right there just to knock them in the head.
Should be fun. Probably the more entertaining game of 12 o'clock for sure, but wasn't on my betting one. We already covered Oregon versus Georgia thanks to this loser. So I will go with Houston at UTSA, the Roadrunners, Ben's favorite team. Kind of a tough spot for UTSA because they got the look ahead game here because they're playing Texas in week 3. So I know they're looking forward to that. Skipped over week 2. I'm joking. I want to see what Houston does, man. I know some people think UTSA isn't going to be as good as they were last year. But I have a lot of faith in their coach. And I think that this is
future Texas coach in 2025.
I know, look, he's saying they suck this year. I can't wait for him to change that shit up.
No, he will when their coach is his coach then.
I
in
hope
2026.
I hope they don't beat him by 21. I don't like Dana, man. I really don't. But I feel like it should be a high scoring game. That's where I was ultimately going. I'm not laying any points, but I will have my eyes on it. But the over under there is 62, and I kind of like that over. I think it'll be a high scoring game.
Yeah, especially if UTSA can keep that same offensive flow from last year going. And yeah, Houston they were putting up points like crazy last year as well. Hopefully they can carry that over. I do want to see UTSA with the upset though, because I'm with you. I can't stand Dana Holgerson.
Upset?
I can't stand Dana Holgerson. He reminds me of like that drunk uncle that would bring your kids cigarettes.
Like I don't like.
No,
here,
he's like the uncle that's like the definition of bad decisions.
There you go. He does actually. I think a lot about that.
What'd he say?
He is, and they have a lot of talent returning on offense too. Yeah, I'm not even messing with him about that. He said they're going to build a statue to Miss Sark. Notre Dame versus Ohio State, spread 17, over unders at 59.5. We kind of covered it. I mean, there's no way Freeman wins. Yeah, Freeman's not winning the game. That is 100% sure. How much they lose by, I don't know, man. Like the guy's been talking like he's got all like. I told somebody, I was like, he's got 3 bullets in a 6-shooter. He's talking like he coming fully loaded. Like, okay, what's the spread? Like, just keep talking. We want to keep it going higher and higher. I'm like, yeah, probably because you're gonna take as many points as you can get because it ain't gonna be enough, probably.
No. He's got a 6-shooter, like, and you know what? And you know what Ohio State has? A freaking missile launcher. CJ Stroud's Heisman campaign is starting that night. I will be surprised if he throws for anything less than 4 touchdowns. I will be honest with you. If it's less than 4 touchdowns and 350, my jaw will hit the floor.
Looking at Ohio State defense is what I really want to see. I need to see.
They might actually run 2 high safeties this year.
I just want to see. I just want to see if they're gonna do what they're supposed to do. And execute. Like execution has always been. Scheme was some of the issue in talking with Marcus all last year and the year before. Like schematically, there were some issues from time to time, especially in spots in the game. But the ultimate issue was the execution, no matter what the hell was called, especially linebackers. Like it didn't matter what was called. Like guys were just not in position and not doing what they're supposed to do. And so, the expectation this year is that that's going to all get corrected. Now, how long that takes, I don't know, but this is a good first game indicator to get it done. Who? Yeah. Ohio State? Let's see. Here, guys. Yeah, that's true too. Well, shoot, they're gonna look good all year then, because they know wide receivers to stretch the field out there.
Yeah, right.
But
it's the Big Ten: run left, run middle, punt. But no, also, who is Notre Dame's quarterback that you have this confidence to, even if their defense is just to really put pressure on Ohio State, where they, where they keep it cllose? I don't see it. Like Notre Dame hasn't had quarterback play at all.
I don't understand what the hype is about Notre Dame either. And I liked Freeman. I liked him once when he was a D coordinator. Once I started following recruiting just to piss Chase off, and I would drop his name in Harlan's name, he'd always get mad, be like, "You don't know what you're talking about," which is partially true. I was trying to troll, but
everyone likes him a lot more compared to Brian Kelly.
Don't even get me started on that douchebag. I'm trying to keep it friendly here. But Brian Kelly's the lowest of low when it comes to coaching and just.
Brian Kelly's down there with like Art Briles and DJ Durkin.
I disagree with Art Briles. I'll just leave that there. Don't do that. Look, it's your first day on the job, bro. You come in here disrespecting Art Briles. They didn't tell you didn't read the paperwork. that was sent to you? You might have to go back and look at that. We don't disrespect Art Browse on my show, man. We don't. And
My
we don't
bad.
talk about any litigation or any cases involving Art Browse, all right?
Hey,
We
allegations are allegations. That don't mean he did
just we'll leave that
it.
alone too.
Allegedly.
BK would have Indy with an upset this weekend. Yeah, right. Brian Kelly has never upset anybody when he was a double-digit spread dog.
Yeah. Ask all
Yeah,
them Bama games how that went.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know what all the love is with Freeman. I just think it's just because he's new. But
He's
we'll
new and
see
he's a good recruiter.
if he can keep it within 21. That's a win for me.
Yeah.
With this
'Cause
team, I'm not even lying. With this team, this might be one of the best Ohio State offenses in a long time. It definitely might be their best receiving core group ever. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if anybody has seen the Harrison Jr. clips, but he's kind of like not from this planet. So God bless anybody trying to cover him.
Bruh, that kid is just like, holy crap. I can't imagine Henderson actually getting better from what I saw last year, because Henderson was a god dang monster. And there was like, oh, he's a freshman? Like, wait, what? That kid's 18? Jesus Christ.
If he bulks up a little, he'll be a problem for sure.
And he came out the bat last year just nasty. Like that Minnesota game, the first two plays, well, okay. Yeah, no, imagine him another year. Oh, God. Yep. Well, Notre Dame, you're dead.
Yep. All right. The last notable
Francis
game.
Can save you.
The last notable game is, in fact, about BK. Florida State is traveling to LSU. The spread is LSU is favored by 3. The over-under is 51.5. I mean, I'm a little concerned with the injuries to the offensive line and whatnot, but I thought it'd be more than 3. I really did. I was a little confused.
Yeah, because it's in New Orleans, but that's a home game.
Yeah, no,
New Orleans is a home game.
Yeah,
that's like going from the East End to West End to Richmond from Baton Rouge. That's a home game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see it that low, but as a gambler, I had to pause for a second because usually for me, what I try to do when I hear about a game, I try to come up with the line in my head, like what's a good number, like what would I think it would be. So, like I was thinking like 6.5 minimum, like at least LSU by a touchdown, and then I see it's 3, and I'm like, damn. And I'm also more pessimistic about my team than most people are anyway, and most fans are generally too.
LSU still has a lot of questions to answer for, especially on the defensive side. It was very inconsistent. You never excuse me. But last year, looking at LSU and what they had, I've been drinking. Shut up. But last year,
you got heartburn, man.
I got him. I got married and I turned like 65.
Yo.
I'm officially like older than Ronnie, yo.
Yeah, when he sees this, he's coming after you for sure. You about to get
Yep, I'm released. But no, they've had so many you never know which LSU is going to show up, and it's honestly hard to pinpoint what's their exact issues on each side of the ball, because the 1 week they were, they could throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, and the passing game looks great. And, they still have Boutte, who's probably more than likely a first-round pick wide receiver, but there was still questions about Daniels. Like, he didn't have a good year last year at all. Productivity was very, very underwhelming for someone who was supposed to be a 5-star, and now he's starting quarterback. He's got weapons. He should do well. I don't know, and I'm not sure how everyone's bought into Brian Kelly.
I don't either. I don't get it
Because
either.
this ain't the same people that go to Notre Dame. Like Notre Dame, the personality that go to Notre Dame is like the opposite end of the spectrum of the dude that goes to LSU. Like you just ain't talking out your neck like Brian Kelly do to like the dude that goes to LSU. And truth be told, that's the one thing that Coach O did recognize. Like you just ain't gonna be any old type of way to these dudes. Brian Kelly, like I said, he be out his neck too much on his players.
Well, I would love to see Florida State win. I think that would be a huge boost to the program, to Norval. But also, it would be kind of terrible because if he wins, then we can't get rid of him. So it's kind
You want him gone that bad?
I want somebody that understands Florida State football. That's all.
Y'all are getting Dion eventually. Calm down.
Yeah, well, they ain't got no water and stuff. He's gonna have to come through. At this point, we're gonna be a FEMA shelter for those. So he gotta come back at some point. If he wants running water, and I mean, I could do the pitch. Like, if you want like basic essentials, come to Florida State instead of going to Jackson State. I'm not even gonna slander HBCUs because it's just Jackson State that has this issue. I mean, I've been to Howard, Hampton,
it's
Morehouse,
the whole city of.
I've been to other colleges and stuff. Like, they don't have these issues, bro.
It's the city. Well, it's Mississippi. Mississippi's a third world country.
Hey, so
and if you're from Mississippi and you heard this, well, you know what? Too bad. Accept your fate. Accept where you came from. You know I'm trite. And deal with it.
Come to Florida. They don't even need water there, man.
No, we just drink swamp. We have swamp water and cocaine and meth.
Yeah. They don't need anything. But Patrick, is a good first show, man. Thank you for coming. What I'll do is I'll just share it in the group, or actually have you share it because I'm still banned. Thank you, Ben, for watching. Next week, I will be out of town, so we can either do it live, or I can just have Marcus fill in for that week because we'll be at the Texas-Alabama game. So we'll figure it out. Okay. Wednesday. All right. Wednesday, I'll probably be. I mean, I'm gonna be in the casino, so you ain't gonna get no time out of me Wednesday. So.
Yeah, we know what you.
Yeah, I was gonna say the casino for 2 days.
You on the DGen DGen rolls.
I basically go off the grid for 2 days, and you can catch me at the tables. But we'll get back together, and then we'll share this again. Favorite.
Are we gonna do our way too early playoff prediction?
Oh no, not yet.
All right.
Let's save it for after
Texas is whooping.
Yeah, save it for after Texas is whooping because Ohio State has a game that week too, don't they? Or somebody else has a key game that I think I was interested in seeing.
That's week 3.
There was an issue because Texas and Alabama are playing. They're playing early.
That's right. They're playing the noon game.
Yeah. So I think they bumped them for somebody else that night. I can check real quick. Hold on. Since we here. Yeah. Week 2. Let me see.
Wait, no, that's week 3, ain't it?
No, it's week 2 because we got week 0, bro.
No, the Texas Alabama game, that's week 3.
It's week 2, man. This is week 1, and that game is next week. You counting week 0.
Oh yeah.
Dang, bro. You public school, man. Public school.
Hey, I'm a Florida fan. When was the last time we counted? Remember the last time the nation counted asked Florida to count something?
Yo, why did they move them to? I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Ben and them about that.
It's because the big noon Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because it's a Fox game because Texas.
Yeah. Stupid ass networks. Never mind. All right, I apologize, but we'll still wait. Just because I need to get video of Ben crying first, and then spoof it, and then we can do our too early prediction. All right, so thank you guys for all listening.
You're gonna have a whole tour of them. You're gonna have the Arkansas game, the Alabama game.
Thank you.
If you would have had the LSU game, you would have had a whole freaking fucking triangle of Ben
I know.
Grimes.
Actually, I might do that. I have
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I have a picture of him from the Arkansas game. I'm gonna take a picture of him at the Bama Texas game, and then maybe what I'll do is just keep photos of every SEC matchup and every time they lose, and then give it to him as a gift one day.
Jesus.
Oh man, I love you, Ben. You're a good guy. All right, I'll catch you later, bro.
Cold-blooded. All right, man. We out.
All right.